Greening the Ghetto Community Mobilization presentation by Catherine West for HCS 412 Health Promotional Planning and Evaluation. Instructor Shakima Smith, October 16th, 2017. The reason for this project was for the South Bronx of New York, which is a waterfront project to reuse the East River waterfront wasted area and build it into an environmental improvement for the community of South Bronx. This is the area being addressed within the Greening the Ghetto project. The focus is to clean up the pollution in South Bronx, to make it organizations to shift those policies towards positive green economic development and more a sustainable South Bronx with this nonprofit environmental justice solutions. Now, the reason for the urgency of this area is because there is 300 areas that can be filled with parks instead of polluted water area. 40% of the city's waste is in this area. 100% of the Bronx waste is in this area. Sewage treatment plants are in this area. Sewage polluticized plants are in this area. 4 electrical power plants are in this area, and 60,000 diesel trucks come through the Bronx every year. Now, the reason for this project is so important is only way to make your environment healthy is to stop wasting and polluting the area and make it more efficient. My community needs map was used these areas, including the reason why I use these. There's a high crime rate in New York. Crime, gangs, and prison intake. This is emphasized because of unemployment, welfare dependencies, project housing because of low income, lack of education. The pollution does not make for good, healthy environment. So this gives people that are on welfare the use for non-insured use, which brings up taxpayer money. And these are big targeted areas for alcoholism, drug abuse. The environment stabilizes unhealthy behaviors because of the lack of money that the family's area is given or able to make. The particular strengths and challenges that the community is facing is that it is predominantly Black and Hispanic in this area, and the poverty of lack of money stigmatizes the area for no help. What appears to be the most critical health issues in the community? There's 1 out of 4 Bronx child that has asthma because of the pollution. 27% of obesity in this area. Diabetes. These are the major health concerns in this area because of the pollution in the known area. Which strengths would be revealed to work on or leverage to work on critical health issues? I feel with the presentation that was given that most of this information is based on the cleaning of the environment promotes less expenses on healthcare costs and the and less use of non-insured, non-paying people that need assistance for health needs. If we can sustain a healthier environment, the people in this environment will stay healthy. That's the bottom line. Now, the waterfront project gives this opportunity to get investors involved in making the environment safe overall, which promotes economic improvements for overall everyone, economically, for the government, individuals, and people that live in the area. Now, to compare and contrast the community mobilization effort, the pros and cons of a community mobilization, getting the right stakeholders to invest is a tricky area because you have to attract the right kind of investors to want to invest into a project like this. Having no funds can prevent you from getting a community mobilization up and running. Now, the pros to this are volunteer support and advocating the importance of this can bring a community together. The education about health concerns and making communities grow and stay strong will allow people to understand that even though the environment you live in, you can control some of the health problems that are existing in the community, other than the reasons for some of them coming from the pollution and the environmental hazards in the area. Working as a unit to better the living arrangements can be empowering. Empowerment drives self-confidence, drives motivation, can drive people to want more, such as education, better jobs, live in better communities. This overall can encourage others to branch out to other areas to improve their lifestyle. Now, the community assist map that I put into play that targeted a lot of these areas that I felt were primary building blocks were religious groups, the youth, the elderly that are affected and they have no control because they can't get out. The cultural groups, which the community holds a community base, such as the hip hop era in the Bronx, basketball in the Bronx. Personal income can be impacted by a primary building block because if the stabilization of the income in that area is low, then nothing will grow and neither can the people in the environment. Now, secondary building blocks that are outside of what can be controlled are higher education, hospitals, social service departments, fire departments, libraries, power and waste resources, parks, police, schools, empty housing, and buildings. If we don't get investors to see that we need to use these and flourish them to everybody in the community, not just subject them to only the people that can use them, we need to make sure that the environment can get people to these resources so they can make the community bigger and better and healthier. Now, potential building blockers. Would there be political influence? There's a lot of governmental people that go to the Bronx and say they're going to improve it. But has it really changed? No. Governmental expenses. Meaning they're saying they're funding, but are they really putting the funding to the areas that they're saying they're helping? And is it really helping? No. Most government funding they allocate to different areas and use excuses of why they can't use that funding for what they said they could use it for from the get-go. Public information, lack of education, literacy. If we cannot communicate effectively with the community, nothing will improve. What takes away from the environment? The sports activities. bigger agencies such as the baseball environment, they are taking away from the funding because investors will use that as a way of why they can't help the smaller communities, because they're thinking about the bigger picture and how much money they can make. Now, what do community mobilization efforts entail? Investors cleaning up sustainable learning to stop waste money, non-used areas of living. What did the community do in relation to each step? Sustainable use of the waterfront, they first use. The seed money was founded by the government, so that helped jumpstart this program. Volunteers and advocates of a healthier living environment were fighting already for the rights to have a better community. Looking for who and what the communities are being effective in living, this needs to be addressed first of all, and this is how all this stuff from the needs map and the assessment app are going to be addressed. The program redesigned the waterfront for parks so that people can live and breathe in healthier status, walk outside versus stay in poverty-stricken, non-healthy living environments. As she said in the video, why would you go outside if the outside isn't any better than the inside? You're more likely to be less mobile. That's what attracts more of the health concerns and the problems. More jobs are given because if we invest, investors will put more jobs that are with higher money, because if the area looks like it's more economical, the pay will go higher. Better health within the community because people are getting out every day. Use of green roof and teach more eco-sustainable living. The program is not just trying to change this one area, it's trying to implement how an eco lifestyle and sustainability can improve overall that community. Now, how can my work in the community proceed? I feel I should use my best abilities, which is teaching healthier eating and what physical activity can do to help with these health concerns. Being mobile and movable can help your breathing, which breathing in fresh air from this environment being cleaner can give you less attacks from asthma. Being healthy or mobile can keep your weight down, which will lessen the likelihood of obesity, diabetes. Being in a healthier community will stop the likelihood of gangs, violence, and prison intake building up. The poverty level and the unemployment will be reevaluated, because if there's more jobs, there's less poverty, more jobs, higher paying jobs, because if the community makes more money, the income will be raised. And with more jobs, will leave less likely taxpayers having to pay for non-insured expenses for people using the hospitals because of these health conditions. So overall, this whole environment and change improves the economical, the health, and the environment. A win-win situation for government, individuals, and companies. Now, what health issues mostly affected by being addressed? An healthy environment has less health-related sicknesses, in an environment that is healthier and cleaner.